Hey guys, so we're back here with Nate Gray. Like I said, the last part one was really introduction to Nate. So now we'll try to go into a bit more into depth of why Nate uh, has come to live this particular path that he's on. What brought him to it? What is his history, and what he sees happening in the future, and is he in touch with, for instance, are strange things still happening to him at the moment? And is he in touch with other SSP experiences or any other people that anybody who's interested in SSP experiences, any topics surrounding like that like UFO, maybe reptilians, even we could go into other material that Nate's interested in, such as Marvel characters, because that's where Nate. For those of you who don't know, that's where Nate is not his real name. That's like his what would you say, Nate? Avatar or
Alias?
alias? Yeah, it's Nate's alias. So he could maybe go into that as well. So maybe Nate, it's good to have you back. If you maybe want to start off going into a little bit of your history and maybe your background, and you can even,
Okay.
yeah, it's up to you
Well,
how.
I'm in contact with a few people. Not everyone wants to come forward,
Yep.
but the best way to communicate with people that have would be to go to supersoldierforum.com and interact with them.
Yeah.
You can privately message each other there and read each other's posts. If you're looking to commune with other super soldiers or my labs or secret space program people, you can go there to supersoldierforum.com. There's a little bit of info about me on ypxnews.com. There's not a whole lot. Maybe I should add more. But I've been learning a lot from my Skynet files from Adrian.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I've been studying my Skynet files with Adrian. There was another dude named Peter Berger from a group called the ACIO that was out there. And I forgot what that stands for, but they're a powerful organization that Peter Berger's actually near you in Australia. I think he
Okay.
works at the Pine Gap facility.
I might write that down actually.
Yeah, the Pine Gap facility is in the center of Australia, I think, somewhere no one would ever go.
It's really sort of well known among UFO people and that, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, I think Peter Berger works at Pine Gap.
And what
And
is?
I've only spoken to Peter Berger twice, but he has very sophisticated files on people. And Adrian has Skynet, which is a little bit less in depth, but it's still pretty interesting stuff. And Skynet is some sort of Linux program that he runs off of his computer. And I've learned a lot of it. I'm in a whole bunch of these ABC projects. I got a bunch of clones, apparently, is what I'm learning.
Is that from Adrian?
Yeah. Peter Berger said he's personally met 3 of my clones. He wouldn't tell me why or anything else about them. I only spoke to Peter Berger twice. Long time ago. Maybe once in 2015. Somewhere around then. But I've been going over my Skynet files and taking notes about myself and my clones and mutants that I've interacted with. Apparently, if y'all didn't know, the Marvel Universe is soft disclosure, which means that a lot of the characters depicted in it are loosely based off of real people, which, makes me sound a little bit crazy or something. But that's what that is. And these Skynet files go into that, and they uncover the truth about it. Because what you read in the comics aren't exactly accurate. They're for entertainment, and sometimes they're deliberately misleading. So it's better to go into your Skynet files to learn about what's going on.
I think a lot more people are actually coming out today and saying that a lot of movies and the Marvel series is a lot of disclosure. I was just listening to someone today that was saying that Jupiter Rising is basically all about how to ascend out of this reality or something, using paperwork. So, I'll carry on.
Yeah, there's lots of different kinds of self-disclosure. I was talking to Anthony Zender, saying that he met a video game character called Lincoln Clay.
Yeah.
Apparently Mortal Kombat self-disclosure as well. I learned that the character Stryker from Mortal Kombat's related to me. Somehow he's a clone or something like that.
So Mortal
Kombat character.
So is Mortal Kombat a game?
Yeah, it's a game.
Okay, Stryker. So you're somehow related to that?
Yeah. Yeah, he's one of the fighters in that game. Sort of resembles me, but according to Skynet, I'm related to him somehow. Let's see. Yeah, there are a whole bunch of different groups. There's a group called Kruger that Anthony Zender knows a lot about, which is like, these groups are a little bit like Blackwater. They're companies like that. There's one called Kruger, and there's one called Monarch Solutions.
Yeah.
And they're secret corporations that operate a little bit like Blackwater. And then there's one called Dark Fleet, which is, I guess it has fleets of UFOs or something, and it's controlled by, I guess, the dark side of the Nazis or something.
Is that the one Penny Bradley has been involved in?
I don't know too much about Dark Fleet.
I thought, isn't another name for it Nachtwaffen or something like that?
Yeah, I learned that I was trip-chaired pretty bad when I was 16.
You were what, sorry?
Trip-chaired.
Oh, what is that?
A trip chair is a device used to erase memories.
Really?
Yeah, it's depicted in Marvel as being used on Bucky, who is Captain America's friend. He's a super soldier. The Winter Soldier. He was trip-chaired really bad. So he even forgot who he was, he forgot who Captain America was, and they turned him into a super soldier. Using that trip chair device they hooked him up to, and it shocks your mind is what it does.
So, did you get that info from Skynet?
Some of it, yeah.
So are you thinking that you were basically mind wiped as far as that any experience in SSP programs is concerned.
Yeah, they could use me for the program and then mind wipe me later, and then put me back in society.
Does that sort of, do you feel that rings true for you?
Yeah, unfortunately.
But maybe, you know, that's why you're interested in this stuff, and are you getting any, sort of anything leaking through?
Yeah, I get strange memories and dreams and stuff, and some recalls coming back.
Like,
And it's weird meeting people that have memories of me when I don't have memories of them. Like Anthony Zender remembers working with me, but I don't remember working with him.
really? Wow,
Yeah.
wow, wow, jeez, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I've been trip-chaired pretty bad.
Yeah. It makes sense, though, because, you know, if you've been basically blank slated somewhere along the way, you know, you're not going to, you know, you're always going to have this feeling of what's going on, you know.
I wasn't completely blank slated, but
Just
they
those,
took away a lot.
yep. Yeah, just those memories relating to those experiences.
Yeah.
Well, you must have been pretty amazed when Anthony Zender said that.
Yeah. Apparently, 14 to 16, I was pretty active working with these groups. Apparently, I worked with, I guess, an American group and a Zionist group. They forced me to work with the Zionists on the trip chair, even though I didn't like them. So I cut a deal with the Zionists to help them with their trip chairs.
You mean to help, you know, mind wipe other people?
Yeah, they were using me as a test subject for the chairs. And it's a little unclear if I was just a test subject or if I was actually helping develop the trip chair technology. But by the time I was 16, they ended up using the chairs on me. And then stopped using me for whatever they were using me for. That's what I got from the Skynet. Yeah.
So, Nate, is there anything as far as you know, like have you got military in your background family, or can you sort of link to anything, you know, where at school were you like in the extra gifted, or, you know?
I don't know why they put me in adult programs when I was 14 to 16, but as far as school's concerned, I'm 60% related to my parents, and the rest is mutant DNA that was manipulated into me. So I'm not a true clone, but I guess that makes me a bit of a test tube baby. It's what I've been told by someone who had my NSA documents, which is different from my Skynet documents. But, and yeah, in first grade I spoke at the same level as a fifth grader, but my academic skills were not that high. Just my verbal ability was really high.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had a really good memory until I was trip chaired.
So around 16, you had a good memory until around that age.
Something like that.
Yeah, that's interesting. So what about what you would say abilities that they might be interested in? Intuition or telepathy.
Yeah. Peter Berger told me I gave up control of my abilities when I was very young. But, I still demonstrate, telepathy sometimes. I don't do it on purpose. I can't do it on purpose. It just happens by mistake. But, they have a chip in me that's supposed to prohibit me from controlling my abilities and using them.
So it sort of shuts you down.
Yeah, they've used hypnotism and trip chairs to keep me from accessing my abilities. Plus using apparently chips that can't be detected by MRI scans. So I've had my brain MRI'd and they don't show up. But yeah, I'm learning from Skynet that I have chips in my brain.
So they're sort of cloaked.
Well, the earlier generations, you can pick up the chips because they're bulky with an MRI scan. But I think these are either so small or maybe they're wrapped in silicone or something.
Yeah, maybe they could.
Scans don't pick them up.
Yeah. Or they could be just like nano size.
Yeah, something like that.
Which, yeah, would make sense. I could definitely see how, these days, later on, 5, 10 years ago, whatever, that they could have some way of hiding them. Definitely.
Yeah.
What you need is maybe to get hold of a good psychic. Medical intuition or something like that.
Yeah, there's psychics, and then there's remote viewers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The psychic reads your mind, and a remote viewer can see what you see. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Or see the area around you. Yeah.
So now, getting back to something you said before, you said, I think it was Peter that said that he has known a few of your clones.
He's met them. I don't know if he knew them.
So these clones, are they in this reality, or are they being used for SSP?
Probably both. Probably this timeline and other timelines.
Yeah.
Someone explained it to me like it's a little bit like Star Wars, where they take people and clone them. They're creating a clone army, but it's not just one person they're cloning lots of people. Yep,
I believe that.
So it's a little bit like that, but there isn't just one host. They clone a bunch of different people.
So this Skynet, I do have plans to have an interview with Adrian, but could you sort of briefly explain, what happens there? How does that? So Adrian comes to you, and then
I talk to him, and he operates the machinery, and Skynet reads your implants and has background information on people.
Geez, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Has he used that on Anthony Zender? I think he has.
Yeah. Yeah, he tried to use it on me today, but my file was being protected for some reason. I don't know why.
Ah.
They wouldn't let him into my file a couple hour ago or so when I was talking to him.
Ah, so it's like, do you think...
Some stuff's so classified he can't get into it, and...
Well, do you think that maybe...
They classified my file, I don't know why.
Do you think you could still be active?
I don't know. I like to think I'm retired, and that they just use my DNA for stuff.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably it. Yep. Oh. You've muted.
Yeah, I was yelling at my dog.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, it's, I think I've seen the, yeah, I saw the interview you did with Anthony Zender. So have you got any, like, other brothers and sisters that are, sort of into this stuff, or?
No, they're not enhanced.
So you
no
know...
one else in my family has been genetically modified as far as I know.
Okay. So where did you get that information from? Did you say that you were genetically modified?
NSA.
Okay.
Yeah, there was a super soldier named Jay Collins who got it for me, but they scared him off. He disappeared. He got it from one of his NSA friends. And he used to be a Men in Black, actually, but yeah, he doesn't use his Facebook anymore or do interviews anymore.
So, are you, I think right at the beginning you said that you were, I don't know if it was on the recording or not, you said that you were in touch with other SSP experiences, but not a lot of them want to come forward.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked to people that have been involved in some stuff that don't want to be labeled as insane or don't want to come forward for whatever reason. Or they just want to be audio, they don't want their face exposed.
Yeah, fair enough. And are you still in touch with Amber?
Yeah, she's on Facebook.
Is she? She's not an actual SSP, is she? Experience.
She's a military lab abduction, my lab.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And is she still getting memories or of past experiences and?
She might be.
Yeah.
Yeah, she could be. I don't know.
So have you finished with the Adrian's Skynet, or?
There's always more to learn. I hope they'll open up my file again once he figures out why they classified it.
Because I know I looked on his website, and he said he does like code reading or something. Is that the actual Skynet?
Maybe.
And are you like I think we talked about this in emails and that. Do you have like precognition and things like that?
Yeah, sometimes I predict stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, funnily enough, I think a lot of people do actually. Like I know my brother does, and he's not even into this sort of stuff. He has very precog dreams. He's had dreams of spaceships landing and all this sort of stuff. But yeah, he's just not into all this stuff, so he doesn't really want to know. which I found interesting.
Yeah.
And they're really vivid, you know. He really goes into it in detail. So I think you also have those people too that would be getting all this material, downloads or whatever, but for whatever reason they're blocking it. They're not ready for it or something.
Yeah, it's a lot to take in.
Yeah. So Nate, when did you first realize that something weird is going on? In regards to you, not in regards to life.
Well, after I was 16, I forgot about most of this stuff. Then around 19, 20, Jay Ridge contacted me trying to recruit me to Department of Naval Intelligence.
Really?
He started red-pilling me about the aliens, about Mars, and at first I thought he was crazy.
So Jay Ridge worked for the Naval...
DNI, Department of Naval Intelligence.
Jeez. I don't think you told me that before.
Yeah. That's when I started to wake up again.
So that was about 19.
Yeah.
And then how did you find out that this Jay Ridge was legit?
I got sent to room 17. I met his daughter there. Other people that knew him.
And room 17 is a real place in a hospital, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you said that they were basically all naval intelligence people.
Yeah, Department of Naval Intelligence, mutant X people, stuff like that.
See, that's interesting because, I mean, I don't know, but my theory is that, I mean, I don't know what you think of this QAnon, you know, but my theory is that a lot of, I just have a intuition that a lot of, you know, because they say that a lot of QAnon is military intelligence, and I think a big part of it is naval intelligence.
Well, I would have gotten cosmic Q clearance if they hired me, which is a civilian clearance, is what Q clearance is. Cosmic Q clearance is a special Q clearance about aliens.
Okay, yeah.
That's what the Q stands for. It's a kind of government clearance that civilians get.
Yeah, because they say there's like, I don't know, something ridiculous like 30 or 40 levels above presidents need to know.
I think the presidents have executive clearance. I think that's what it's called. I don't know. But Q clearance is not above the president as far as I know.
Okay. And so that guy's name was Jay Ridge.
Yeah, that was his call sign.
Okay, yep. And is he still in touch with you, or?
He's dead.
Okay, yeah, that's right. And do you get like, I know a lot of people like Alina, Star Wanderer, I think she's called now. She gets a lot of, you know, helicopters flying over, and I know Anthony Zender, he knows by intuition that, you know, helicopters fly over him or fly over him all the time, and he says they're cloaked, you know, but he knows they're really TR-3Bs. And do you get any of that?
I had a helicopter fly down and aim its weapons at me once. It was pretty scary.
Jeez, that would have been. Was that army, just an army one, or?
It was a black one that was unmarked with sophisticated weaponry on it.
Holy hell.
Yeah, after I called John Rath, the black guy from Origins Wolverine who could teleport.
Yeah.
I met him in person and I called him, and that helicopter showed up, and then he changed his number and I never talked to him again.
Far out.
Isn't that creepy?
So, hold on. So, that guy was in the movie Wolverine.
Yeah, Origins Wolverine.
Eh.
His character was. It was played by someone else.
Okay. So,
He's the one that could teleport.
and you got in touch with the guy that character was based upon?
Yes. Yeah.
So how did you know that was the guy that it was based upon?
Because I talked to him. I met him at room 17.
Oh, okay. So this
Yeah.
room 17 sounds pretty sort of freaky place.
Yeah, I guess so.
So is it so if it's a hospital,
Yeah.
is that room, it's not really, they're not really there to get cured, or they're just there to have naval intelligence meetings?
Huh. It's a safe place for people like us to go when we need a safe place to go. It's like a hospital.
Okay, so you don't need to be sick though? Or, have a broken leg?
Pretty much everyone there is like retired or semi-retired.
And can you go there anytime?
No.
So when can you go there?
When you have a medical problem.
Oh, okay.
There was a NASA guy who kind of used it as a hotel. There was a guy who got fired from NASA who was kind of living there like a hotel. But, yeah, it's supposed to be a hospital.
It makes sense that, they would use a place like that.
Yeah.
Because who would suspect that? Yeah, the thing, I think it was when you were talking with Anthony Zender that I first heard you talking about that. Room 17.
Yeah.
And when I first heard it, the immediate thing that struck me was the 17, because, the 17th letter of the alphabet is Q. And I immediately related it to, the QAnon.
Okay. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, how do you prove this stuff? But, how are you going for time there, Nate? Are you okay, or?
Yeah, I can keep going if you have
Okay.
more questions.
Yeah, sure. And, so how is your future looking? Are you just taking sort of one day at a time, or?
I guess there's a lot of stuff to take in. I'm a little bit addicted to information, and I'm pretty good at handling it at this point.
Yeah, I think
A lot of people freak out when they learn it, but I'm pretty calm.
yeah, you that's what I've noticed, yeah. I think a lot of people that are involved, I don't know, I might be wrong, but it seems from the people that I've seen involved in this SSP are generally pretty sort of, calm about it, and funnily enough, you're the first person I've heard say that you're addicted to information, but at the same time you can handle a lot of information. Now, I think that might be a trait of people interested in this material, because I'm the same, I mean, it pretty much feels like I'm living about 3 lives in one life. I'm learning all about this sort of what they call truth of stuff, UFOs, SSP people and all that. And I think people that are into this stuff, I don't know how you feel, but I think a lot of people couldn't handle it. Living about 3 lives in one.
Yeah, I guess we need to start waking people up.
Yeah,
It's about time for people to start learning what's really going on.
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that's, oh, I'm getting a bit of an echo now. Yeah, that's why I'm doing it. Basically, what is that exact reason, you know? Apart from I'm interested in it. And do you keep in touch with Anthony?
Yeah, I Skype him every once in a while.
Yeah, I just sidetracked for a while. I get the feeling when I see you guys interviewing him that there's a lot of stuff he's not telling us.
Yeah, there is some stuff that he can't verbalize on the interview. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think he he's not allowed to talk about his missions.
Well, some of it's just highly disturbing, so he might not want to talk about it.
Yeah. And then, you said you have had a lot of, strange dreams and that. Would you be able to talk about some of those? Like, I know Anthony said one of his missions was, and even okay, I've got nothing to do with SSP, but I've had a mission type dream, at least one that I know of. I know Anthony, one of his missions was, he said it was like Quantum Break, where he stopped time and saved this alien, I think. Have you ever had, like, weird dreams like that?
Yeah, I've had plenty of bizarre dreams.
Could you give a few examples if you can remember them?
Well,
Because your dreams might be, could be actually another form of your memories seeping through.
Yeah, they are. Are you familiar with Men in Black?
The movies?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yep.
Do you remember those little worm things that drink coffee?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have dreams about those little things, and I've talked to people that have interacted with them. So, yeah, that's soft disclosure.
Yeah, yes. So those things are real.
Pretty much. I don't know too much about them, but they can speak. They like coffee. I don't know. I think they hang out in a place called Room 17 of NASA. I think I've been to Room 17 of NASA. No, I mean Room 16 of NASA. Sorry, Room 16. I got them confused.
Yeah, no, actually, we've heard about that there's, within NASA, there's an actual, real intelligence, section.
Yeah, I think the aliens hang out at Room 16 of NASA.
Yeah.
Yeah, they depicted that room in Men in Black.
Oh, okay. I can't remember much, but I remember the part where they open up that, little cabinet and there's a whole bunch of little dudes in there.
Yeah, the worms.
Yeah.
Yeah. I talked to Anthony Zender about the giant worms, like the ones from Dune, but I don't think I talked to him about the little ones that talk.
Yeah.
I guess this is my first interview talking about those.
So, have you had more than one dream about them?
Yeah, they visited me when I was a kid.
See, yeah, so that sounds like it's, really happening, or, especially if you're having more than one dream about them.
Yeah, I played with them as a kid.
So,
yeah, weird.
Yeah, well I suppose that's what I was, when we were talking before our interview, I was trying to, see if there's stuff in you when you were a kid that you found, that you thought. A lot of people say they thought things that were happening when they were a kid were normal, but then they found out later they weren't.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that you used to play with those worms.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anything else? Any other things happening like that when you were small?
Let's see. Um, yeah. I remember lifting an empty box with my mind and then getting a horrible migraine.
Wow, really?
Yeah. Yeah, one of my tutors asked me to lift the box with my mind.
So, okay, so one of your tutors, is this when you were, like, a kid, or?
Yeah.
So you had a tutor when you were a kid?
Yeah, I did.
Do you mean a tutor as in, like, just for maths or something like that, or?
A tutor for school. Yeah.
So that means that tutor was more than just a school teacher.
Yeah, I think she knew what I was.
Yeah, well that's interesting.
Yeah.
But I don't suppose you remember her name and all that.
Her name was Miss White.
Yeah, have you ever thought of seeing if she's still around?
She's dead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember this is true. Because I follow this guy called Drunvalo Melchizedek, and he talked about the, new children coming in. This was years ago. And then he brought one, the mother of one, up onto the stage to talk, and she said, and it was quite funny because she said, I knew she was, a bit different the day I walked into her room when she was a baby, and she was floating toys above her, and with her, just with her mind and playing with them. I thought, yep, that's different.
Yeah. Huh.
Well, I think it was that same person had a hard time later on because, she was like telepathic and all this sort of business, intuitive. She had a hard time. She had to get through it because she just basically thought everybody in this world was nuts because she could read people's minds and all this sort of stuff. So she just stayed in a room a lot until she sort of worked out how to handle those abilities and all that.
Yeah.
But I think it is very challenging if you are intuitive or... and I think that's why you get so many people these days that are labelled as, or all sorts of labels, but one of them is, social anxiety, and they're bringing out all sorts of labels. But I think that's part of it is just because people are more, more intuitive and more can, feel the thoughts and emotions of other people.
Yeah, that could be.
Yeah. Sooner or later at school, they're probably going to have to. I can imagine going to school and they teach you how to handle being intuitive and all that, and teaching it.
Maybe.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you can think of? How were your parents? Did you just have like fairly normal parents, or?
Well, they generally put us in abusive homes on purpose.
Oh, so you had abusive parents?
would still have them.
Oh, okay. Yep. Well, are you sort of independent, or are you living with your parents, or?
I'm in a different town, but yeah, I'm sort of independent.
Do you know, you love your parents and all that, obviously, you know, or?
I guess so.
But they were abusive as far as you're concerned, or?
Yeah, they yell at each other and drink a lot and stuff like that.
Yeah. Why do you think a lot of, like you say, people are put in these situations?
Well, I saw the documentary Beyond Majestic, and they said it's to make sure you can handle a lot of stress or something. I don't know. They do it intentionally.
Yeah, I know, who is it? David Wilcox says that, he goes on something about suffering. It's sort of I think he's totally right, but having said that, I don't know if it's good to give people an impression that you have to suffer to, to bust out into your other abilities and things. Actually, I put a video up one day, and because, people were saying, with this trauma and splitting personality, splitting into many personalities and that's the dark side does that. And I thought, and it could be what you're saying there, but a different way of saying it. I thought, I wonder if the good, the so-called good side puts you into traumatic situations. Yeah, like say, so you can handle stuff, and then you can handle what the dark forces are up to.
I don't know.
It's a good, I think it's likely. I think to come down into this world and do what we're doing is pretty challenging.
Yeah.
Now, have we covered everything? Is there anything more you want to say about, your memories or dreams or any other things we haven't covered? Yeah, I think it's been a good interview because I think you brought out a lot of stuff that I didn't know anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know about, that J Ridge and, that when you were 19 and then 16 you had your memory sort of wiped, or not all your memory, but...
Yeah, I got trip-chaired.
Trip-chaired, yeah.
Yeah, there's, let's see, it says an ACIO put a chip in me. I got multiple chips. Are you familiar with Emma Frost?
No. Emma
She's
Frost.
the X-Men that turns into diamonds.
Is it a woman?
Yeah, she is.
Emma Frost.
Yeah, she is blonde hair and blue eyes.
Oh, yeah, she can control the weather.
No, she can't control the weather. That's Storm.
Storm, oh, okay.
I met Storm. Storm's black.
Yeah. Oh, you met the real Storm that it was based upon?
Yeah, I met Storm at room 17.
Wow, that must have been interesting.
Yeah, she has weird hair. It has like lines of white in it. You can't dye your hair that way. It was definitely her.
And all these people really do have those abilities?
Something like that. Yeah.
Or their own...
It might be exaggerated or...
Yeah. Or they're only...
minimized.
Or can only be used in certain situations, or...
Yeah, I need codes to be turned on and turned off. I need poems and codes and stuff. And I got chips that control me. But,
well,
one new...
Sorry?
What? One new fact I found out was that, this is gonna sound really weird, because it is, was when I was 14, according to Skynet, I had twins with Emma Frost. And I'm 30 now, so both of them are 16. A girl and a boy. And the girl phases in and out of doors and walls and can turn invisible. And the boy can throw objects and then freeze them. That's what it said he could do. I can't do any of that.
Well,
And they're probably both telepathic.
and so they're your children.
Yeah, I just learned that, like, within a week.
How did you feel about that?
I'm processing it.
Yeah, that's a biggie. That's a biggie.
Yeah. It's pretty weird.
I didn't realize you were 30. You don't look that old.
Yeah. A lot of people don't notice it.
Yeah, no, I would say like you're like, oh, around 20.
Yeah, that's what most people think.
So maybe you've had some, you know, genetic engineering to keep you young too.
That's possible. You know who's like that is actually, John Rath has, the aging, slowed down on him, according to his profile.
Is he a character? In...
He's the black guy that can, teleport.
Oh, okay, yeah.
His other ability is that his aging slowed down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did you find out about your children, or potential children?
Skynet.
Okay.
Yeah, through Adrian.
Did, you know, when you hear some of the stuff, does a part of you go, aha, that makes sense?
Why I think Emma Frost is sexy? Why I dreams about Emma Frost? She does explain it now.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah.
Skynet says Emma Frost is 45 now. So she would have been way older than me, and I would have been 14. It's pretty crazy, huh?
Yeah, but interesting, though.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? I no doubt one day we're going to know all this stuff. No, what I was going to say when you were talking back there about don't seem to have abilities now and whatever, it could be, you know how like MK Ultra people can get switched on by words or colours or whatever. It could be the same with, you know, you guys, SSP people and all that.
Yeah, Adrian told me that, I think it was blue and red simultaneously could trigger one of my personalities or something. But yeah, code phrases and colors can do it.
Yeah, well that's interesting.
Yeah.
You know, because I haven't worked it out yet, but there seems to be a big thing in the world. You know, the old Halo red versus blue and all that. Why red versus blue? I have no idea. Got a few theories about it, but haven't worked that one out yet.
Okay.
Could be, you know, there's a lot of things like, you know, Archangel Michael is usually blue, and then your Satan is usually, or the dark side is usually is red.
Well, there's a mutant named Azazel that looks like Satan.
Yeah. And there's, because what is it? That funny comedy with it's the Devil's Son, and he's red, bright red. I think there's a new one just come out. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, I think that's right. I think just like MK Ultra can be, activated by certain codes, colors, words, I think the same would definitely apply for the so-called, good guys. I definitely think that when the time is right, when the time is right.
Yeah.
And I think people will probably, because, Drunvalo Melchizedek said years ago that there's a lot of people with a lot of abilities, fourth dimensional abilities that are on this planet at the moment. And he said that like 20 years ago. He said he saw, it was China, I think there's a book called China's Psychics, or China's Psychic Kids. And apparently in one of those psychic kids, they'd do things like they'd come up on stage or wherever it happened, and they'd put down a bottle of vitamin pills, and just by thinking about it, or with their mind or whatever, heart, whatever, they could pass the vitamin pills, through the glass and onto the table. In one instance, I won't, I'll keep it brief. One instance, these people sat down in this conference hall, and the little girl, I don't know how old she was, not very old, 6, 7. She went up into the stage, and there was a rosebud under everybody's seat, and she said, "Could everybody hold up that rosebud?" And they all held up the rosebud, and she sort of like waved her hands and said, "Okay, now." And all the rosebuds turned into, they blossomed. So, I think there's people with those sort of abilities.
That can make plants grow and stuff?
Yeah.
Green thumb?
Yeah.
It's very possible. I don't know.
Speed up time and... No, I think... How you feeling about closing it down soon?
Okay. Alright.
Yeah, I really appreciate it, Nate, because everybody's... I don't know about you, but man, I've been... seem to be pressed for time more and more these days. I shouldn't say that, because, if you put that out there, it tends to happen these days. But, Nate, but if you want, we can carry on if you've got more stuff to cover. Want to give people your particulars about websites and various other, can people contact you and all that?
Okay. You can look me up by typing in ypxnews.com, ypxnews.com. And that's the easiest way to find my stuff. You can also go to supersoldierforum.com, and ypxnews.com you can go to the Contact Us button, or you can email me at nateypxgray@me.com, and my YouTube channel is nateypxgray. And yeah, you can try to search for me on YouTube if you want as well.
And what's your email again?
It's NATEYGREY@me.com. You can use the contact us section of ypxnews.com as well.
Did I ever ask you, might be a silly question, but did I ever ask you what the YPX is?
Yeah, I've heard that I was called Weapon YPX.
Weapon YPX.
Yeah, I don't know why. I can't remember why I was called Weapon YPX.
Maybe the YPX was a certain type of weapon.
Well, they called Wolverine Weapon X, with just the X itself.
Ah.
For some reason, I was called Weapon YPX. I don't know why. So I kept YPX in my name, and I decided to call it YPX News.
Okay, thanks for that. I'll put all those links below too.
Yeah, I have alien pictures there. I have all my videos on YPX News. I have my audio interviews, and I have a few articles as well.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
Could you, have you got any, plans for the near future? Like, have you got any interviews coming up or anything like that?
Yeah, if you want to be interviewed by me, let me know. I was thinking about making a documentary one day.
Yeah. Do you mean with, all sorts of different experiences?
Yeah, I was thinking about it. Going around interviewing people and making a documentary.
That'd be awesome, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, because...
yeah, if you want to be interviewed, let me know, and I'll interview you on my YouTube channel and put it on my website.
Yeah.
If it's just audio, that's fine too. Or video, I do both.
Yep. Because the only documentary that I know of lately is probably that Above Majestic.
Yeah.
But you know what, Nate? Now I don't sort of really like to go around, saying this guy's no good and that guy's no good and whatever. But I have to say that lately, I told Adrian I disagree with Randy Kramer. I still like the guy, I reckon he's awesome, but I disagree with his latest stuff. But that's cool. It's just what he's saying is I'm not having on my timeline. That's all.
Randy Kramer, Mars Defense Force, that guy.
Yeah.
I don't know much about him.
Oh, he's an awesome guy, but if you watch some of his latest ones, he's basically saying that there's going to be a fake alien invasion, but it's instigated by the good guys. Because we have to get rid of a certain number of the population. I think I've got this right, what that he's saying. Yeah, but I disagree with that, because I don't think we have to kill anybody. I think that's what he's saying. I could be wrong, and apologies to Randy if I did got that wrong. But anyway, that's sort of not relevant to this interview anyway.
It looks like he was on Freedom of Joyce, and he was on Project Camelot.
Oh, he's done a lot, heaps of interviews.
Yeah, I've been on Freedom of Joyce and Project Camelot.
You have?
Yeah. My first interview was with Project Camelot. It's not still up, though.
Yeah.
Earlier interviews all got deleted.
And are you still up on Freedom of Joyce?
Yeah. I'm doing a new one with her this Saturday.
Is that Joyce, Joyce?
Joyce, yeah. She's a comedian who got into the truth movement. But I'm doing a new interview with her Saturday, but I don't know when it goes on air, but the recording's happening Saturday.
Okay.
According to plan.
Oh, that'll be... Yeah, I didn't realize you'd done an interview with her. Well, you'll probably send me a link when that one goes up.
Okay.
But I'll look it up for it, and I'll sub to her anyway.
Okay. Yeah, she's interesting.
Yeah, Film Joyce. I have heard of it. Rings a bell.
She was on a reality TV show for comedians a long time ago.
Yeah.
Last Comic Standing or something.
Yeah.
Now she interviews people.
You know, what I find... why I got onto Randy Kramer before was because I think it's a sort of a shame how not all the SSP experiences. I think they should be like joining up, and but not all of them are willing to join up with each other. I know a few, you know, like Tony Rodriguez, he's happy to join up with anybody, I think, and Anthony Zender's happy to join up with anybody, and Randy Kramer's happy to join up with anybody, but there does seem to be a few that want to keep to themselves.
Yeah.
Which, you know, which is cool. Okay. Well, thanks for that, Nate. Yeah, sometime in the future, if you're willing, we'll have another interview and, you know, keep people in touch with what's going on around the place. And,
all right, sounds good.
Yeah, I think that was a biggie where you were told about, you know, possibly having twins.
Yeah, if that's true, that's pretty interesting.
That's a lot.
I don't know why it wouldn't be.
Yeah, that's a lot to take in. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really appreciate this, Nate, and we'll do the same as before. We'll as soon as I've got it ready, I'll send you a copy, and you can check it and etc. But yeah, I appreciate your time, and I look forward to having more interviews in the future.
Alright, it's been a good interview. Thanks for interviewing me.
No
Check
problem.
out our websites and stuff.
Yeah, no problem. Cheers, Nate. Thanks for that. See ya.
See you.